Now, basically, I'll be talking about the emerging trends in PEB industry. What are the emerging trends? How we have gone ahead, evolved, what developments we have been taken place in PEB industry. Now, a lot of sophisticated packages have been used. Now, software packages are used like STAD and then MBS and other things to develop and interlink the design, drafting, and fabrication process so that the advantage of PEB can be actually taken over by the customer. Now, SAP has also been implemented. Now, what does SAP do? SAP basically helps us in synchronizing the things, various activities like your drafting releases, your fabrication releases, and how then the production phases, it is released in production phases, and that's how actually the material is supplied. It helps in installation, faster installation. Now, Kirby has also introduced racking systems, which is so at times when rack-supported mezzanines are also there. Apart from that, Kirby has also introduced some deep mezzanine decking system, which are 54 and 75 mm deep, that can be used as composite decking. Now, that helps in multi-storied buildings being constructed fast. Kirby has also successfully implemented all these major new technologies in our projects, various projects. I'll take you through various photographs of some of the buildings complex design which we have actually done it. The concept of basically the mezzanine decking as composite decking has permanent shuttering has been removed. It is used as a permanent shuttering, and it adds as a value addition for the steel building solution. Now, why people are going for pre-engineered building? Basically, the customers are educated now, and people are going for the time, the quality, the speed, and optimization in design, and in turn, the cost is reduced significantly. Now, green building is also coming as a concept, and PEB industry is now penetrating into other diversified areas as well. Now, here we will be compiling and presenting some case studies of some of the major projects which we have done. Now, this is one project where this is Bridgestone project, where the customer wanted the profile to be same as the existing building. And what we did design the building as per their requirement, keeping the profile as same. We understood the requirement and provided the building like that. This is one building which we did for Reliance Industry, Mumbai. This is a ground plus 2 structure, and approximately 8,000 tons of steel was used there. And the whole of the building was completed in 6 months flat time. You can see the specs here. It's a ground plus 2 structure, 11 blocks. And the total load on the structure was approximately 12 kilonewton per meter square. And this whole 1 million square feet area was done by us in 6 months flat. Now, this is one project where a lot of heavy cranes were there, 50 ton, 70 ton cranes. We did it there. This is one NEC Shillong building, which houses Northeast Councils in Secretariat located at Shillong. This building is done where the seismic zone is very high, wind is very high, and we have done it here with a multi-storied building for the first time there, approximately done around 10 years back. Now, this is an exhibition hall which we did for IMTA, Bangalore. It has steep slope of 3:10, and this was done as IS 800 draft code. Now, this is one special building we did for Forbes Gukak, the retrofit. The whole of the building it was a running building, and the roof of the building was to be removed. The structure was to be placed without disturbing the production. And we did it in almost 3 to 4 months flat time. From the outside, we installed cranes, and from the outside, we lifted the existing sheeting and placed our structures like that. You can see the photographs, please. This is one building we did for shipbuilding. This is GRAC Workshop, Calcutta. This is approximately 35-meter high building with heavy cranes. 66-meter wide building, we did it. Now, the concept of pre-engineered building started with something like warehousing, godowns, or sheds, which we call. And gradually it has moved to some very heavy and complex structures like shipbuildings. I'll show you photographs of Pipavav shipyard, one of the most prestigious projects we have done. It has a capacity of 90,000 metric ton vessels, and the height of the building is approximately 36 meters. This is probably the highest PEB in the country, where cranes of 20 tons to 150 tons have been used. I'll not go deep into detail, as I've been told to cut short the things. Now, this is one building we did for Thermex. Why I'm showing you all this? Over the period of time, the warehousing concept has gone into some heavy structures, where the cranes are now of the tune of approximately 200 to 300 tons cranes are being used in pre-engineered structures. Now, Thermex is again one building where we did it for 200-ton cranes. Again, ABB you can see. This is one building where jeep crane was moving, and then another 80-ton crane was being used. Now, we did SEV Forge, which is the world's largest foundry, and approximately 62,000 square meter area. Now, Suzlon, the world's largest rotor blade manufacturing facility we did, where 150,000 square meter was built up. 12,500 tons of steel being used there, with 130-ton cranes and all. Hansen Drive is again world's largest gearbox manufacturing facility we did. You can see the structure, the complexity involved in this structure, please. Some of the photographs, please. We also did Nokia manufacturing facilities, the biggest manufacturing facility for Nokia. That was around 174 meter wide by 135 meters. Apart from this warehousing, heavy structures, we have done some exhibition centers, which requires a lot of complex structures where space frame is being used. It's not normal I-beam. Space frame is being used. Now, this is one prestigious project which we normally talk about, is Delhi metro stations. 21 stations from Barakhamba to Dwarka, we did it with our pre-engineered building. There are approximately 10,000 tons of steel was used, and the whole of the project was completed in approximately 1 year time. You can see Delhi Metro workshop and inspection building. Some heavy cranes are used there. It's a multi-span building, and some underslung crane was used. Then EOT cranes were there. The whole of the structure was supplied with epoxy painting system. Now, this is again Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation, which we did. Now, I'll like to show you Renault Nissan. This is the world's largest project as far as PEB is concerned, single largest project, approximately 220 crores worth of project. The span is now through 60 meters with one single slope of 130 meters. You can see the photographs while it is being constructed. This is a finished photograph of Renault Nissan, please. We also did Tata Nano at Sanand. These are some of the photographs I'm showing you. This is one project we did in Haridwar, almost 1 lakh square meter for Builder tires. Apollo Tires. This is Siemens Baroda place. Foxconn. This is STI Phoenix. Surya Global Baroda. The Renuka Sigar, you can see the slope, very steep slope. Now, conclusions, basically I was supposed to talk on the utilization of galvanization in our industry. Now, again, as our speakers rightly said, cost advantage is one thing. We are basically looking into it. In the beginning, around 5 years, 6 years back, absolutely no galvanization was there in our industry. Apart from the sheeting which we used to take, the sheeting comprises of, as Mr. Nandi rightly said, approximately 45% of zinc and 55% of aluminum in the sheeting being used. Apart from the sheeting, there was nothing we are using. But now, almost every second buyer is asking for secondaries as galvanization. Now, this is a change which we can see over the last 5 years. Now, I'm sure over a period of time, even the built-up members, people will be asking, as Mr. Nandi has just rightly said, Perto is one company who are asking for even the primary members, the built-up members, as fully galvanized. Now, as of now, we are using galvanized secondaries, sheeting, and even galvanized anchor bolts. Now, the day is not far when even the built-ups will be asked for primary. So thank you very much. And cost advantage is one thing which we need to discuss, and why epoxy should not be favored over galvanization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ranjan. I think you have given us a very good overview of the advantages of pre-engineered building and also the emerging trend. I think there's a huge potential, but what is required is that we have to really explore it further. And you have also raised about the cost angle. Time is very important, and probably with appropriate designs, probably we can meet the cost also and make it more competitive. And probably you have to take, and you are already taking a lead role, and probably you have to take further initiatives in this. Thank you. With this, may I now request Mr. Sethi to please give your talk. And again, because of time, please take it.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, you'll have to give me a little bit of time, because if you have a galvanized structure and the roof is leaking, it doesn't make sense. So, and anyway, I'll brush it off very fast. I just want to share this, what I had in mind regarding the, trying to sell galvanized steel and galvanized purlins and the steel structure. What I would like to share is that I do a lot of marketing on the roofing, and the general trend, what I've seen, is that when I started selling roofing about 20 years back, is that, if you market the product properly, the customer doesn't really look at the price. Because if you see, I'll show you in the slides where we stain the roofing from, I'm basically a roofing guy, not a steel structure guy. But if you see from the asbestos, we got into galvanized. From galvanized, we got into color-coded sheets, galvanized. Then from there, we went to color-coded galvalume. Then we got into standing seam, and a lot of high-end roofing was used. And I have sold roof at around, even at 12,000 rupees a square meter, and we're quoting at 15,000 rupees a square meter. Recently, just for a project in Port Blair, our pricing was coming up to 11,000 rupees a square meter. So overall, if you look at it, the cost of the galvanized structure, what Sir said, is about 1% of the total cost. So I think convincing a customer is not the question. I think the consultants should push in for a galvanized structure, which is very useful for the customer. And second thing, what I also think is that it is not easy. When you make things easy for anybody, then people use it. I will show you in one of my slides. When we have kept safety equipment, safety equipment on the top of the roof, then people start cleaning the roof regularly. So if the galvanized is available off the shelf, like Sir said, now he wants to use galvanized steel structure, but he cannot galvanize it because there's nobody to do it. So I think more of this galvanizing plants should be around and easily available to the customer, so then they know we can galvanize the products very easily. So this is what I feel, and because things are available easy, people use galvanize. So this is just want to share that. Anyway, I will run through about modern trends in roofing now. I won't take much of our time. Okay, that's me. I'm the Managing Director of Vijayanath Interiors Exteriors Private Limited. When I started my company about 20 years back, we were selling false ceiling, and then we gradually graduated to roofing and pre-built buildings and other high-end roofing. I will take around 25 minutes about metal roofing in India. Initially, as you all know, asbestos sheets was available in India and abroad also. People used to use asbestos sheets with J-bolts, and gradually, these asbestos sheets were becoming a menace because a lot of it used to crack and it used to leak. And I remember one textile company used to make cloth. They used to have this asbestos roof which was cracked, and the water used to leak, and along in the muck, the entire roll of the cloth used to get spoiled. So people then, because of these problems, and then people started using GI sheets later on. Initially, all this stuff, GI sheets was sold in tons. Like, if your project was out, the requirement was just like steel. They will say, okay, 100 tons of GI sheets and whatever, and the installer will design the roof and put it. And then, galvanized was started, normally it leaks because it's rust basically because the coating which was used on the galvanized, people were not educated. They used to use very low-end coatings, galvanized coating on the roof. And this is how this was. And later on, and you need to repair. So I'm just sharing this with you. Then people started, Metacolor was a company which I think first bought in color-coated galvanized. So people started moving from GI sheets to color-coated galvanized. And the trend started everywhere to have color-coated, colored factories in the roof and the wall. And then came in zinc alum. Of course, Tata BlueScope was the one company who initiated this. This is a project in Malé where Interact Building Products first bought in zinc alum in close to India. This was installed by the Interact Building Products along with BlueScope, and this is where Interact company, a Delhi-based company, who bought in roofing systems in India. I was a dealer for them in Bombay, and this is the first roofing job which was done in zinc alum over there. And then after that, we were selling a lot of zinc, color-coated zinc alum at a higher cost than GI. So this is what I was trying to tell you all that, if when we can get more price for a roof, you can easily get a better price for the galvanized purlins and the galvanized, structure. Because we used to convince the customer, that time I remember, galvanized was about 250 rupees a square meter, and zinc alum we were selling at 550 rupees a square meter. So people were willing to pay, and most of the customers. Then after the color-coated zinc alum came in, Bajaj was the first company who used bare galvanum without color, because the life of the color and without color of the sheets are the same. So this is the first job where Bajaj used it. Now most of the people in the factories use bare galvanum without color on the roof, and they use color on the wall. The reason is that because the life of the warranties are the same. So this is what is there. This is a photograph of Bajaj Akudi, which I had done the first bare galvanum roof in the country. Zinc alum and zinc in roof. I just want to share this. As you know, that zinc means on the steel sheet there's a coating of zinc on top and bottom. You have a different type of coatings. In India, people normally don't look at the thickness of the coating. The higher the thickness of the coating, the higher the life. So people normally use 120 GSM over here. And not only that, when you actually test the product, if you see a test of 120, I have known it. Big companies, the thickness of the grammage is much lesser when you test it. So this is what I have noticed in the past. But 275 GSM is standard, what they use worldwide, and we've been using it in a lot of airports over here. This is zinc alum. Of course, this is a BlueScope slide where you see that after the base steel, after the base steel, they use a coating of zinc and alum on the top. And when you use the zinc and alum, the life of the sheets is more than 40 years. So the people started using zinc alum here. Then you have the coating on top. The coating depends on what type of you want. Whether it's a colored bond, what zinc alum says, and there's SMP coated exterior paint is supposed to use. Earlier, when people were using color coated galvanized, they were using polyester paint. Polyester paint is normally used for interiors like the fridge or the cupboard or everything. So this is what is there, and this is the color coated galvanum roofing. Zinc roofing, now we have zinc in India. I think there's Umicore guys over here. So zinc is 100% zinc. I sell zinc, 100% roof. We say life is 100 years. And that is the best part about 100% zinc. Even in coastal areas, we give 30 to 40 years warranty of this roof. This is pure zinc, and it looks very nice, very rich. A lot of, if you climb the Eiffel Tower and look around in Paris, all the roofs are zinc over there. So that's a very good product which is there in India now. And this is some of the roofs which is done in zinc. This is the project in Raipur which we have installed a hospital. Wire roof, Interact, I just want to say this, changes in roof, this Interact and BlueScope bought in zinc alum. And why do you need a roof? Normally people really don't know why they need a roof. They just say we want a covering. But the design aspect is the more important part is, I've seen in a lot of the tenders which come out, they come and say, okay, we want this thickness, and we want, this is the insulation, and this is the screw you're supposed to use. But actually I feel in roofing, you must always ask the supplier to say that this is the warranty of the roof we want. And this is the insulation, this is the sound you want to arrest, this is the STC value you want, or the U value you want, and then the roofing guy should design it. Because what happens is, when you do this, then the roofing guy has to give a warranty for that. So then he designs the roof as per your requirement, and then the warranties come as per that. But normally what happens is the tender comes up with specs and he gives only 1 year warranty. I can give you an example which we did the Bhayal airport, which I'll show you later, the Bangalore airport, where the specs were not laid out. They said what they wanted, they said they wanted a 20-year warranty, they wanted the life to be 50 years, the STC value was given, the sound transmission coefficient was given about 42, and they had given various parameters, and based on that design, we were selected. So basically, what I would like to share is that when you have a roof design, you must tell the supplier with your requirements, and they should design, and then you should select. So this is what Interact had bought in. I'll show you what different type of roofs are available in the country. The high rib one, which which is a traditional one, this is with self-tapping screws. People, when they use high rib profile, they give a 1 year warranty on leakages, most of them. This is one of the jobs which we have done. Then the non-piercing roofing came in, where you get about 12-meter long sheets. There are no screws. We used to tell the customer, if you use a clip-on, there are no screws on the roof. But if you use a screw-on system, because on every square meter, we use 5 screws. So if it's a 10,000 square meter job, we say 50,000 holes are there. So rusting and leakage is more chance. You use a clip-on system and there is no penetration of the roof. So this is another system. We have used about more than 5.5 lakh square meter just in Tata Motors. As a standard, they use clip-on system. This is another photograph. Then the next trend was the standing seam in. Most of the Kirby roofs and all the other roofs, they use this standing seam. The advantage in a standing seam is you can go on a very low slope, plus the machine comes to the side. So you can have the maximum length. There are no joints. So that is the advantage of a standing seam. It is seamed on the sides. This is how it is seamed. I don't know if we can, the video we can just show. We can just the video there. Just 1 minute. I'll just show you how it is seamed. So 1 minute small slide is there. This is the new trend. That's why, as I was saying, that this is more expensive than the other roofs which I showed you, but still use a lot of it, of these roofs over here. You can? It's okay, leave it. Chal, I'll go next.
You clamp it with the machine?
Yeah, I'll just show you. If you give me some time. The seaming machine, 2 sheets are put together and seamed. And if you see, there are no holes in the roof. So normally we give a 10-year warranty on this kind of a roof. There are different standing seam available. This is one of the low-end standing seam because the rib height is about 50 mm. Can you go next? Finish, Basim. Thanks. I'll go back. Yeah, I'm going to go back. Go back. Yeah, there are 2 standing seams over here. On the top one, which is red color, you can see that is a 50 mm high. So, you can go up to a 5-degree slope or something on the roof. And the other one is a 65 mm high, the height of the rib. This is what has been used in most of the airports. The Delhi airport, Hyderabad airport, Bangalore airport, all the airports. And a lot of factories I have done, where I have done a factory with 1 degree slope also, where I've used this. I'll show it to you, a Tetra Pak. This is another 100-meter long sheet, which was installed in Hyderabad International Airport. It's a standing seam roof. Now they have turned, this tiles also coming in metal. in zinc aluminum roof. So people started using this also. We're doing a job in Cochin Airport, about 14,000 square meter. So tile roof has been used over there. And this is a new trend in the roofing. This is how it looks in metal roof. We have puff panels on the walls, which are sandwich panels, we call them. This also are zinc aluminum or galvanized. These are for thermal performances. We get in various thicknesses. We have used this in Nestle at the Samalka, at the walls. Now another trend is double skin roofing. People earlier used to use single skin roofing. Now double skin roofing, you have two sheets with insulation in between. So that's what I tend to say, that whenever you have a requirement, every building has got a different requirement of roof. Airports are different requirement, warehouses are different requirements, office buildings are different requirements. So if the metal roof is there, we design based on what you want, what you want. The top sheet and the bottom sheet normally remains the same. If you use a standing seam on the top, you use a screw-down system on the below. And between the two sheets is what we say, in Hindi we say masala bhar ke aapko deta ho. So we use cement board, we use 100 mm insulation, 50 mm insulation or glass wool or rock wool, depending on your requirement, depending on what STC value you want, what U value you want. So depending on that, the masala between the two sheets is differed and is designed. So this is how it is put. You can see the bottom sheet there and the glass wool which is put on that. And this is how we lay it, and then the top sheet comes on that. So this is called a double skin roof. This is a single skin roof with the insulation. Sometimes people don't want a double skin. They say we have a false ceiling below, or we don't need to spend a double skin, two sheets. So this is how it looks from bottom with the insulation and wire mesh and a top sheet on top. On the top sheet, you can use a screw-down system, or you can use a clip-on, or you can use a sanding seam. It depends on your requirement. This is one airport which we have used double skin. I'm just running it is 55,000 square meter, which we have installed. A very complicated roof over here. This is how it looks. This is another roof which we had installed. Very complicated. If you see this, this is in Vashi in Bombay. There are two skins over there, the top sheet and the bottom sheet. The top sheet being laid over here. The bottom sheet is already installed. Between the two, there's about 160 mm of insulation, because that is what the requirement was of the client. That's it. You can see that. In the center, you can see there are 4 or 5 layers of insulation where you are shown. That is to achieve the curve. So we have used it to achieve the curve. So quite a complicated job. It took about 2 years, and the price of the roof was 12,000 rupees a square meter. So please don't tell my competitors. But you see, if we can convince a customer to pay high for a roof, we can definitely tell them to pay 1% of the project cost to get the entire structure galvanized. So I think that's the most easiest part. This is how it looks. Then in the walls also we use zinc alum. Adani Power project, we used 1 kilometer of sheets. If you see before and after, this is what we gave them. And this is another building in metal roof, which was done in Bombay. It was an office building, very nice, designed by Kamal Malik architect. This is the roof over here. The top part which you see, that is where the boss was supposed to sit. Now the roof is completed. At once upon a time, he didn't pay me money. I wanted to cut it and drop it down. That building which is portraying out, that which is not finished. So that is his office building. That's the owner sits over there. It's coming out of the building. And this building also won an award. This is again wall cladding in metal. JCB we have done about 130,000 square meter. For residential also, metal roofs are used nowadays. What happens in residential is people use RCC slabs. And RCC slab invariably leaks because it cracks, So people now have a trend of putting a metal roof on top of that. They put an insulation and then they put a metal roof on top. So if you use a screw-down system, we give a 1-year warranty. If you use a standing seam, we use a 5-year warranty. So this is how the detail in metal. We achieve this detailing because we get German machines for bending at the site. And this is the detailing we have done. This is another one which is there. You can see over here on the RCC slab, we are putting the insulation and the roof on top. They've used a standing seam over here. This is how it is. On the RCC slab, you have insulation, Z-guards, and the roof. That's what is there. So this is normally what you can use for, especially in Delhi area. Up north, a lot of roofs are leaked, a lot of sloping roofs are there. And another new trend which came in was roll forming, getting the roll forming to the site. The standing seam, when you use the standing seam roof, the machine is brought to the site. Now here if you see, we have taken the machine to the rooftop. And this is how it is roll form. And you can see this building over, the red color thing is the machine on top of the roof. And the sheet length is 100 meters. This is for a stadium in Bombay. That's the first time it is used 100 meters. This is the longest sheet we have used over here, which is 130-meter long sheets. in Goa for a stadium. So this is what we had done over here. You can see this. Now, in roofs, a lot of openings come in. People get scared how to address it. So in Tetra Pak, as I was telling you, this is one degree slope. There is no ridge over here. We have made the flat and one full sheet has been used over here. And what happened, the advantage is the client could use a lot of accessories on the top. They could use the roof as a to put equipment on top. So we have done all this and still giving a 15-year warranty on the leakages. This is a double skin roof for Tetra Pak. They had very tight requirements. A lot of openings were there. We have addressed these openings. This is how we address the openings. This is a job in Fort Sanand where we were called in because the roofing guy could not complete the openings. That was what he left, and this is what we delivered and gave them below. That is before and after. So they were very happy with it. This is what we addressed it. That's our speciality. So we just did the openings, about maybe 200 openings were there. If you don't have a safety system, people don't want to climb up. So similar way, I was saying, as in galvanized, if you have factories all over, people will definitely call. And I don't think there's a company who's selling galvanized rods, ready-made. I think you'll have to buy it and galvanize. So if somebody starts selling galvanized rods, it will sell very easily. So I think that is one thing which I would like to share. This is a roof safety equipment. The openings are there. We're using Bilco, #1 company in the world. This is roof opening, exhaust. Then the lighting arrestor is addressed here. Here, if you see, we're not punctured the roof, we're using a lighting arrestor. So the warranty of the roof stands. Use a lot of equipment and the warranty of the roof stands. So we designed this.